Funding fossil fuels
is not the only ecological crime
that Citi has committed.
As
the largest foreign bank in Israel. Citibank funds the genocide and occupation of Gaza. After 8 months of ruthless bombardment by the IOF, Gaza is now a different color and texture from space. Israel has carried out the largest bombing campaign in history. In the first 2 months alone, the planet-warming emissions generated by Israel's bombardment of were equal to the annual carbon footprint of 20 of the world's most climate vulnerable nations combined. The carbon cost of rebuilding hundreds of thousands of destroyed buildings in Gaza will generate the same amount of CO2 as New Zealand emits in a year. Citibank makes sure the IOF can buy all of the polluting weapons of war that it desires. And the U.S. is a part of this. The U.S. military is the largest institutional consumer of hydrocarbons. And American greed has led us to exploit the Middle East for its fossil fuel resources for decades. Washington sees Israel as a key strategic asset in the oil-rich Middle East. And along with the U.S., Israel is using its genocide to cover up blatant pillaging of Gaza's offshore gas reserves. In late October, Citibank and Israel granted foreign fossil fuel companies gas exploration licenses off Gaza's coast. This is in a region that is warming at twice the rate of the rest of the world.
of the rest of the world.
Palestinians will be among the first to feel the most dire effects of climate catastrophe. This is exacerbated by the occupation. Palestinians do not have adequate clean water. Walls and checkpoints. Wreak havoc on local habitats. Environmental laws that apply in Israel do not apply in occupied Palestine. Meaning the IOF treats the West Bank and Gaza like a garbage dump and a burn pit. Israel also uprooted countless native olive trees, which hold cultural and ecological value, and replace them with European flora. This has dispossessed and displaced Palestinian farmers, dried up ancient Palestinian wells, and turned these man-made forests into tinderboxes for wildfire. In addition to genocide, we must charge Israel with ecocide. And Citi is an active participant. The Summer of Peace is a campaign of non-violent direct action. Because we cannot sit by and wait passively for Citibank to stop killing our futures and the people of Palestine. I invite you to join us at any risk tolerance. Because civil disobedience works. We were just here, remember me? We will be here all summer. Along with these amazing groups. Because we are out of time. Climate catastrophe is here. And it shares the same root as the genocide. Imperialism. And we say no more. It is our responsibility. Here in the belly of the beast. To make sure that our government listens to the will of the people. Above the will of the banks. The war machine. And the fossil fuel companies. From the belly of the beast. Oil drilling must be seized. From the belly of the beast. Hands off the Middle East. Justice is our demand. No peace on stolen land. Justice is our demand. Peace on stolen land. You can't lie.